Hi everyone, welcome back. So in today's video, I have two snakes from the Extreme Reverse OKT clutch that have yet to have a meal. All of the others at this point have had 2, 3, 4 meals. I shouldn't say they haven't had any meals. This snake in particular and the other snake is also of the same, and that is that they have had one assist fed meal. I tried live last week to no success. So we're going to assist feed again, and we're going to work on getting these guys all buttoned up and good to go. I'm going to walk you guys through the steps. I'm obviously cleaning everything right now. And while assist feeding seems kind of scary, it's a very methodical, very calm procedure, if you will. You don't have to rush it. Actually, if you rush it, it's a bad thing. And we don't want to do that because we don't want to injure the snake. The calmer you are, the slower you go, the less issues you'll end up having, and the better the snake will do. So, when we are going to assist feed a snake, we have to restrain the snake's head. The way we do so is using 3 fingers in a motion like this, and you'll notice that it creates kind of a triangle, and the snake's head will actually fit into those fingers like so. You notice that it's well restrained, the body's able to flop around as it wants. It will fight us some, but that's okay. And we're force feeding it food. Now, this is a smaller pinky. It is frozen thawed. It has been thawed out completely. Now you notice here that I'm putting the pinky to the snake's mouth, and what I'm doing is I'm using the pinky's nose to kind of get into the mouth a little bit. We just kind of work it in like that. The snake's trying to get away because it doesn't like it. So I change my grip at this point because the hardest part for me is getting the pinky's head into the snake's mouth. You notice the snake is wiggling, the snake is fighting. We get it started and we just gently start pushing. I have thumb on the bottom of the jaw, finger on the top of the jaw, and I'll gentle pressure. You know you're using too much pressure if you pop the pinky. So we're letting the snake stretch, a little bit of pressure, kind of squeeze the head down so that just like in nature, it would pull it in, then it would squeeze to reset its teeth. So we're a little bit of pressure. We're taking, like I said, we're taking our time with this. We're not using a lot of pressure. Snake has been able to stretch a little bit, so we're going to do a little bit of pressure. Straightening the snake out here so that way you guys can see that a little bit at a time. You notice we move forward some and we squeeze. We're not trying to hurt the snake. We're just trying to make sure that it eats. This snake in particular has a pretty good body condition. The other snake really doesn't. So it does get a little tricky here at the shoulders of the pinky. Doesn't really get tricky, it's just sometimes you have a hard time getting that far. But see, I'm using just nice and easy, slow and steady. Snake's continually trying to get away. But you notice we haven't popped the pinky. It's slowly going down the throat. And we're there. Now, if we stop here, after a while, so you can try, but a lot of snakes on the first few assist feeds will automatically try and regurge. And part of that is because they don't know what to do and you're assaulting them. But we're gonna take our tweezers and just gently push it down past the throat. Now we're gonna let this snake sit. We're gonna see what it does. And the reason why is because this snake, ultimately we're trying to teach this snake what it's supposed to do with this meal. And it's sitting here mostly just upset that it's been assaulted. I haven't let it go yet, and mainly because if it starts to regurge, I don't want to have to redo all of that effort again. I want to catch it ahead of time. But it looks like it's going to keep it down. Notice the crinkle there, where it's kind of figuring out what is it doing. Natural body motions is we're gonna start working this pinky down. And we're just letting it do its thing. The goal eventually is to be able to obviously have the snake eat on its own without any issue. But it's also to be able to get a pinky into its mouth and have it automatically just start eating. Because once we get to that point, it is actually pretty well going to start just eating. And if you notice up near the head, that pinky's getting worked down a little bit at a time. It's not going back towards the mouth. So we're just gonna let it sit here for a minute, let it calm down, let it process this pinky and get it moving. And there it goes, starting to push it down. Here we go. I think this snake's going to end up being just fine. It may take a few meals to get it to realize what food is, and that's okay. This other one, I'm not so sure about it. I'm not sure how it's going to ultimately end up doing. This snake, if you notice, the body condition looks really good. Nice, well-bodied snake. Decent condition, doesn't look like it's really has too much issue. I mean, if anything, it might be having issues because it maybe has a blockage, but considering the look of that paper towel, I don't think that's the case. So we're gonna, since this guy is working his meal down and getting there slowly, I'm gonna go ahead and give it water back, get a lid on it, and we're gonna move on to the next one. Now, for this snake, in comparison to the last one, you notice that its body is quite a bit smaller. It has gone to the bathroom previously. There are definitely urates around. It's probably from the last time I assist fed it. But you notice it's not quite as active. It is active, but it's not, jumping out away and striking and being all defensive. It is very cool, calm, and collected, very small. So just like the last one, we're gonna take its head, and we're gonna go to town here. We're gonna see if we can get this to work. This one's deciding to be a little bit difficult, so I use my finger there for a second to pull its jaw down. Just like the last one, we're going to switch positions, and we're just going to work this guy down. And when you can get them kind of straightened out, it works much better. But a lot of times they're going to be wiggling and fighting you, but it's nice gentle pressure. I'm using the same kind of positioning of my fingers to push the pinky down, pushing primarily along the spine. And I'll push and kind of compress and just let it sit there at that pressure and let it push itself down. So there we are. Once again, if I let this go, this snake is most likely going to regurge. So I'm going to go down just a little bit. Again, this is the second feeding, so they're a little bit more, they kind of have an idea of what's going on. The first time it's always absolutely chaotic. They're wiggling everywhere. They're trying to regurge no matter what. They're just generally unhappy. So we're going to let this guy sit here just like the last one. Make sure he's going to get it down, because if he's going to try and regurge, what we'll do is we'll actually, matter of fact, I'll show you on this guy, even though he would probably get it down just fine. So if you have a snake that's constantly trying to regurge, 3 fingers, just like before, except this time we're going to expose the bottom here, their belly, and we're just going to use our finger, tip towards the head, and roll downwards. I'll do it sideways. So finger, tip towards the head, push in a little bit, and roll towards the bottom. And again, and if you notice, it's just slowly working its way down. And you'll kind of work it down, and you'll eventually feel it kind of hit bottom. And all you're doing is working it towards the belly. And we'll get down here. Right towards the middle. There we go. Pinky is in its belly. And we're ready to wait till next week to do it again. All right, everyone. I hope you learned something from this. I hope you have a great day. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.